What is up, game show fans? Hey, everybody. Today we got a fun game, another classic board game that you can be able to import and bring into your classroom. This game came out, I think, when I was a kid. I think it's, and again, I'm 50 something, so I don't know. Like, is it old or young? Anyway, I remember this game coming out. I remember having tons of fun with it. I also remember that there's some questions that are really hard. I kept remember like, oh, so for sports, and I thought history was pretty good. And then what was the tough one? Leisure or something? Anyway, arts and literature. I think that was the really tough one for me. Anyway, but I love the idea of getting those little pieces in the pie, and then ultimately you can kind of win the game. And so Trivial Pursuit is a fun game in which that you can be able to play. Teachers already played in their class. I get put my own little spin on the game, and I hope that you can find this something that you can spin and put in your game. Folks, this is Trivial Pursuit. That's right, everybody. Welcome. I'm Ryan O'Donnell. We're playing Trivial Pursuit today. Trivial Pursuit's a game that I loved playing as a kid. Like I said, but kind of, because I always felt like intellectually I wasn't just quite there. I was like, come on, sports or history, but arts and literature, anyway. So So that brings up a point for like, as you design this or any of game, mine or anybody else's game that you'd be able to play for your kids. And these review style games is here my philosophy is I don't want this to be a gotcha kind of a thing. I want this to be a combination, a balance between fun, game elements, and we have prizes and all that. But then the other part too is that I want to be able to really kind of assess what they know. I want them to see again the things that I really want to emphasize for this going into whatever our assessment is, a test or whatnot. So I want it to be fun, and I want it to be able to see what they know. Therefore, I don't want to be able to make the questions too tough or, gotcha questions or things like that. So this is different from Trivial Pursuit because you make questions. You get to put whatever you want into there. So balance is my recommendation of, yeah, you want to have some challenging questions. You want to be able to, you also want to be able to ask them things that has been covered. And then lastly, I think I also want to be able to put in some opportunities for the kids to just have fun. So I put in some fun questions. In my templates, I don't necessarily put those in, but I have a huge recommendation. You do the classic Jeopardy game, and there's different columns, and this is Trivial Pursuit's a lot like that. And then have a column just for fun, kind of a thing. It boosts scores. It creates more fun and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so like I said, Trivial Pursuit, the way I've designed this is very Jeopardy-like. That pie that you would have of the different pieces, I would say that you do this like Jeopardy in terms of categories. So what you have here, though, is as opposed to Jeopardy, where I pick which categories to be able to use, it's all based on the roll of the die and such. And so anyway, let me just jump into this and show you how I kind of be able to play the game. If you take a look at here's the template that we have. And the template, like all of them, too, you can be able to see there's me, what fonts, if you can see down here on the bottom, these are the fonts that are really pretty necessary. I mean, the game works without it, but it doesn't have the look that it should. So install those fonts. If you don't know how to install fonts, check out my video on my YouTube channel. And then here I always have Classroom Edition for you to put in whatever your subject is that you're doing. And if I pop this into slideshow mode, you'll see like all my games, it's got some sights and some sounds and some interactive piece of it for you to be able to play the game show host. Like, hey, everybody, welcome. We're playing Trivial Pursuit. We are playing Biology Edition. That's right, everybody. And you put whatever you're in there. We're doing 7th grade ELA or something like that. And for my opening slide, you put that in there. Then I always have these hidden slides, which are all the directions for you and such. And so you can go back and look at these later. But in essence, let me show you the what this is going to look like. And there's really a sort of only 3 things. I have my pie pieces, my puzzle, not puzzle, how I keep score, my for my tokens, or what do you call these things? Anyway, I'm going to call them Trivial Pursuit pieces. Anyway, my pie. So I got my pie, and I need to be able to get them all. The way in which you win this game is that you get all the colored pieces. A little bit tough here compared to a normal game is that how do I make sure that the game's over? Like one team just got 6 of them, and now it's over relatively fast. So the way I've designed my scoring a little bit, which I'll get to in a second, is that I want more questions to be asked and such. And so I make it a point system as opposed to the traditional way in which that Jeopardy is, Jeopardy, I just said it, which that Trivial Pursuit is played. So In this piece, I have a lot going on here. So I'm going to throw this into the slideshow mode so you can kind of see how it looks, because you don't edit this thing at all. Actually, you do. The only thing that you edit is up here. And I wrote some generic things. So let's say I have people, terms, pop culture, more terms, places, mystery, random, whatever. I just want you to see what it looks like having some generic terms in here. This is like Jeopardy. What are the topics, the categories of your questions ultimately going to be? These are text boxes, so you go in here and change them. You know what I mean? Whatever you want that this is going to be. If this is going to be vocab, then you would put vocab over there, or whatever ultimately that you want like that. Okay, so go back into this so you can see here. The colors matter and the locations of the color matter. So let's say we are going to have people be one of the categories. People is pink and people is on the top. And it's always there for you to kind of remember. So let's say if I'm playing team one and team one got the people question correctly, in order to get that piece of the pie here in PowerPoint, I click on the top one. And now that lights up and it shows me, hey, it's pink. Okay, so if I get a mystery and I'm team number 3, I click that piece of the puzzle and now that goes there. If I messed up, I can turn it off and go back away. And the way that I'm designing my game, which I'll get to in a second, is that if a team does get them all, we're not done. You just get extra points. So let's say team 3 won. All they needed was green. Yay, they got green. They got all their pieces. They get an extra bonus points. Then we reset all of our pieces and we continue to play and such. So that's how those work right there, to keep track of the scoring. And I'm going to show you the scoring here. And that's what this is over here. So let's say if team 3 got 3 points, there's that. Let's say if they got 2 more, they're at 5. Now they can do this one. And these are just numbers that roll over and over. So you can keep your scores. A lot of the games I like doing a whiteboard. I'm starting to transition to be having built-in scores within here using these animations in here. This is all for PowerPoint. I'm going to have a Google Slides version that's going to be available. I'll talk about that a little bit at the end of this. In essence, the gameplay is the same. You lose all of this. This entire slide's not even included in the Google Slide version because Google Slides does not have any of this interactive component of changing things and keeping score and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, so those are the pie pieces and the scoring piece. The next thing is about the rolling of the die, how to be able to get that. Now, you have 2 choices, and this is what I'm going to say in the Google Slides version is, how do I be able to get the random decision of which question that we're playing? Roll a die. And the one way you can roll a die is you can just get simply just a normal dice, or you can get one of those, as you can see here, available on Amazon or Walmart or wherever you can kind of think of, these generic dice that have a whiteboard, a writable, erasable sort of thing. And then you could put on there and write your own words on there, people or terms or mystery or whatever you ultimately want to put on there. If you are going to be playing my PowerPoint version and you don't want to use a die, you can use my spinner. The spinner works that I've animated this, that if you click the white dot in the middle, it's just going to spin around forever until you click the white dot again. And it's so fast that you can't really, plan on where it landing. I know we've been talking about people a whole bunch and it just randomly landed on there. So you spin, and then you kind of land it again. And that one's on mystery kind of a thing. So that's the second or third interactive piece. I got the pies, I got the scores, I have the spinner. And then lastly, let's say I landed on mystery. Now it's time to actually play the game. So that's what the blue button in the middle is going to do. It's going to jump me to my questions board. And here is all of those colors again. You can see it says topic across the top because that's what you're going to fill in. You're going to put people, mystery, and whatnot. So that was purple, which was mystery. Anyway, and I'm going to pick the first question. Your choice is, you just want to do them in order. You can randomly bounce around. Unlike Jeopardy, the points don't matter in any of this, so I don't need to do it for a certain amount. I like to just do them in order, but your choice. So I'm going to say, hey, everybody, now let's play the game. My game that I'm going to play here is very similar to all my games, in which that I'm going to have a player from each of the team come up and have a whiteboard and answer that question and have an attempt to answer that question individually. So I can have anywhere between 2 is a bit small. I would say this game's pretty flexible in terms of how many teams that you want to have play. You can do somewhere between, I think, 3 to 6. Doesn't matter at all. I can play 3, 4, 5, 6. Doesn't matter because it's just about points. So let's say I'm going to go back to my questions and we're going to do purple. I'm going to say, hey, if I got 6 teams, 6 people from all of them, all going to come up here, all have their whiteboards, hold them close. There's no cheating. Here's your question, everybody. And now this is going to hyperlink me to question number 1 from the purple round. The question is going to pop up there. I've disabled, you can't accidentally click the answer anywhere and move forward. The kids write down their answers. And as soon as they're done, I say, show me your boards. The kids turn their whiteboards over. And now I need to present the answer. So in the upper left-hand corner, I click on that. And now here comes the sound effect and the answer coming on. I can't move beyond accidentally to the next one because I've disabled that as well too. So you click that back button up there. And now that back button is going to take me back here, so now I can keep track of how many I got them. This part can be a little bit tough. Here's the way I wish to do this. Don't have the players go back to their groups. Have them stay up there with their whiteboards up so that I can remember who got the, let's say if we're doing mystery. Hey, team 1, right, you got that. You get a point. Team 2, you did not. Oh, I accidentally clicked it. I can go back. Team 3 got it right. Team 4 got it right. Team 5 did not, and Team 6 did. Now, I've checked off all those purples on there. If they go back to their group, you're going to forget because there's so many teams. Who got it right again? Anyway, whatever. So that's why I leave them up there is my recommendation. Once that's done, then you go, give me 6 new people. Come on down. Wrong game, but you get the point. And now let's spin that wheel again. In essence, that's it. Wait, hold on. What about points? So let me jump back here a little bit. So you can do this a bunch of different ways. You can have them, all 6 of them, come up and play equally. So whoever if they all get it, if they get the questions right, they get those number of points. You could say, hey, if you get it correct, everybody's going to be getting 5 points, 5 points, 5 points. First team to get their entire pie gets 25. A way to switch this up is try this. What about to be able to have one team at a time play? Okay, and you can read that I have here. One team decides gets to do the spin. If it lands, I let them try to be able to guess it by themselves. This is a way to be able to mix it up. So team 2, you guys are up for this one. And then I go team 3, team 4, team 5, team 6. Team 2's up at this point. Team 2, they get a spin. That person gets to guess it all by themselves. If they get it right, 10 points and they get their colored piece. And if they're unable to guess, then you can have everybody else have an opportunity to be able to steal. You could say only if the first person gets it, do they get their colored piece of the pie? And the Steelers don't, or they can. A lot of flexibility. That was always kind of weird with me with Trivial Pursuit is, do I get the piece or not? Is it because me or the whatever? And if I already have it? Anyway, be creative as you can with who gets the pieces and what the points are. But generally, I like this. Give them a small amount of points, 5 or 10 points if they get it correctly. If they get all their pieces, get them a bonus and reset the game. Okay, you can read my instructions, but again, they're just a guide. Make it up as you feel or whatever. So in essence, folks, that's the game. If I show this to you into the I bust this out in the slide sorter view, you can see here is that as I have all these questions, there's a lot of them on there. And basically I have 10 questions for each category. So there's 60 questions in here. Some of you may be thinking that's more questions than I ultimately want, right, to be able to come up with. And so what you can do, by the way, is just go in here and how about this? Let's highlight that, click on, let's delete those cells. Okay, how about here? Actually, I'm going to click on this, right click and delete. Anyway, delete that row. I can't see where it is, but yeah, you just kind of get rid of those things. Here, I'm just going to delete the boxes within there, but I can delete the row, and now I got 6 topics of 8, of 7, of 6, or 5. You come up with how many questions that you want, because 60 is a fair amount. Playing the game, I have changed the coloring, that the questions don't disappear, but they do change color, so I know which ones I have done and which ones I haven't, which again is another real massive struggle for those of you who are going to try to do this during Google Slides, because hyperlink colors are hyperlink, and they don't change if you've gone to them or if you haven't gone to them. You can see I've gone to topic purple 1, so it's changed the colors to denote for me that which ones that we've been to already in the past and such. So essence is that game, but let me jump out and show you kind of what this looks like in a real game that I put together. I used to be an AP World History teacher, so I created one for my AP World History friends. And you can now see within here, I have a series of all these questions. Let me put this into the game mode so you can kind of see this thing and see here that now I've changed the topics. The topics I have multiple choice, terms, true, make some questions true, false. One of them, the next one, the blue one's going to be picture questions called Where in the World. I have people, and then the orange one's just my fun one. I'm going to try to actually theme this one. Besides just totally fun, I'm going to make it fun and history together. And then let's say, hey, let's get to the questions, and we're going to go, hey, let's go what a people question looks like. Here I have a picture of a person, the descriptions of what we've learned about him in AP World History. Let me show you what it looks like for my multiple choice questions. You could just put straight text on there and make it a choice. The point being totally flexible, like a lot of my games are. It doesn't matter what the questions are. They could be identifying questions like the people, multiple choice questions. Correct answer is B. What about terms, Terms would be very similar to like the people. It's just, hey, here's the definition of something. What's the word? True false questions make it a little bit, I won't say easier, because true false questions can be quite challenging, but basically all the kids need to answer is true or false. Sometimes kids get really nervous about playing games because they don't have, they're worried about having nothing, blank. And then they're worried about ridicule. But at least if they can put the wrong answer, like maybe I thought it was B, but it's D, or I thought it was false, but it's true. At least that gives them the opportunity of having a guess, if you know what I mean. And let me take a look here at what other questions that we have. Oh, here's my where in the world questions. They're just pictures up here. In AP World History, we talk a lot about places, like, hey, where's that? And where's this? And where's this place? And then, of course, same thing too. I've just animated that text box in the corner there. So whenever you click on that, it'll just animate whatever word that you have there. And then my pop culture fun one, or just sort of silly fun things that have something connected to like this guy's Rasputin, and he's also part of the Just Dance game. So anyway, you get the idea of having some creativity. Like I said, if 60 is too many, as I was building this for AP World History, I'm like, that's a lot of questions. It is a large class, which there's a lot of content to cover. But for a lot of your classes, you won't necessarily have that much content in which to be able to cover. All right. Now, what about my friends who are playing Google Slides? Well, you can do it. In essence, if you think about the gameplay should be the same. However, I want my kids to be able to have the randomness of these different topics, have questions that go along with them, and then we get pieces in the pie or the puzzle kind of a thing. So that's great. I don't have that interactive piece, so you got to get creative a little bit. You can see here is in Google Slides. These are all hyperlinked. So purple 1 will jump to purple 1. Just remember, though, these colors will not change. So I need to keep track of that. If I'm on purple number 3, the next one is 4, because I may have forgotten which one that we're doing. Not a bad idea to be able to have a helper or something on the whiteboard to keep track of which ones that we've already gone to and done. That's one challenge. Another challenge that you have is the idea of, how do I keep track of how many pieces somebody has got and won? Right? That was the cool, like how I can make it purple and it turns to purple. Well, you can't do that here. I got 2 ways in which you can do that. Version number 1, I'm going to do number 2 on here. You can see on the bottom is, go get some pieces. It's fun. It's interactive. Actually, what the part of that I liked as a kid of being able to play Trivial Pursuit is put those pieces in there. So pull out the Trivia Pursuit game that you have in the closet, or trust me, go to the thrift store. It will be there. Whatever thrift store you got near you, I'm pretty sure they got a Trivial Pursuit in there. Who knows if all the pieces are there, but look at that. There's 6 teams and the different colors right there. So that'd be fun, easy, and relatively kind of cheap way to be able to do it. You want to go even cheaper, Ryan? I got you covered. And it's not as fun, but it's paper. So I built this. This is just a PDF. You print this. I would print however many teams that I have. If I got 6, I print all 6 of them. Then what I would do then is just simply cut all the colors out. Also cut the circle out as a circle, the plain white one as a circle. Then so each team will have a plain circle one, and I didn't print one out from my tutorial here, I'm sorry. And then I'll have the colored versions as well too. So then they just keep track of them on their own. They can put them on top, maybe give them some tape. So if they do get them, they can be able to tape or something like that to be able to take note of it. It's just, I'm trying to think of a way in which that you can be able to do this in Google Slides, because folks at Google Slides just are not updating it. I like it a lot and I use it every day. I'm in the program every single day, but it just has some things that it's lacking. But besides that, the game's still the same. All right. If I go into the slideshow mode, and if I want to go to orange for 3 and I click on orange and it jumps me over there, you can't animate the answer. So you got to be careful. You just have to click and then the answer will show up. And that takes me back, and you can see it doesn't disappear. But simple, easy to be able to use. And the game should be the game, irregardless of the bells and the whistles. They make it a little bit more fun for sure, but it isn't necessary for the whole thing. One of my new games, if you've been noticing and following me, I've been busting out a lot of new games, really trying to tap into some of those famous games that you guys play at home and be able to bring into the classroom environment. So as always, I can't believe I'm going to do this again. Keep begging for feedback. I'd like some feedback on the YouTube channel, on the TPT, if you're able to get your hands on this thing, and would love to be able to hear back about how you use it in your classroom. Folks, enjoy. As always, I am Ryan, and I am the Game Show Guy.